like we work on the radio. We have a program on the radio. It's called Radio Construyendo Relaciones, and it's about building relationships, building consciousness, right?
Okay.
So we've been speaking to Javier today and everything, and he gave us the chance to speak to you, and we said like, okay, we need to speak to you, ask a few questions. So for our
I don't promise answers. You can ask the questions though.
Okay. Now I'm even more curious. Yeah. So maybe you could give us a small introduction about yourself for our audience, because I know that you've been working as a psychologist, and a teacher. And at the same time, you have a practice in Buddhism, right? So
yes,
maybe
I've been a monk for over 30 years. I've been ordained in the Mahayana and Theravada traditions. And I prefer not to talk about tradition, and I prefer not to talk about labels or etiquettes. Not even Buddhism or Christianity or Muslim, because it's all one. It's a series of paths that climb up the same mountain. It's just a way of getting to the same goal. And interestingly enough, that goal is non-existent. But it's good as beginners to have a goal.
Okay. Well, like, why do I ask? What do I ask now? There is no goal?
No, it's unhealthy to have a goal, because once you reach the goal, you think everything is finished. But it's not. And then you're surprised, because it's not finished. It's not the... You know, in a journey, like from home to work, you have to get to work. And people make that journey, but they forget that they're making the journey. It's the journey that's important. And it's rather beautiful, because this journey, spiritual development, it never ends. So it's rather lovely. But at the beginning, rather like in karate, you know, you have the different belts, white belt, yellow belt, orange belt, I don't know,
Green
until you get to black belt. So they have little goals, and then they feel, you know, once they get their green belt and their black belt, and they think, oh, good. The one thing that they don't understand is that you actually become a student once you've got your first black belt. Before, you're nothing. So the journey continues. So that's the nice thing, that's the beautiful thing. Whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, the journey continues. It's a spiritual journey that never ends.
I'd like to ask you, because you're also like a psychology teacher, right?
Yes.
How do you combine this spiritual journey with the psychology?
Okay. Yes. The word spiritual in this modern industrialized society has become a taboo word. It's become a word that one does not use anymore. People wish to forget. They don't even think of mind and body. They generally think of only body. They go to the gym and they do their muscles, and they lift the weights, and then they spend a lot of time, especially men, looking at themselves in the mirror, okay, and seeing how beautiful they are. They forget that they age. They will get older. They will die. So we were the first psychologists to introduce Buddhist philosophy, in particular meditation and mindfulness, which is a small part of the process of meditation, into clinical settings within psychology. So we use this in order to help people overcome depression, anxiety, panic, to help with their husband-wife relationships, help with relationships in society. We deal with alcoholism, addiction, various addictions. We wrote a lovely paper actually not too long ago in which I introduced a new type of addiction, because normally up until recently we've had chemical addiction, that is drugs, alcohol and that sort of thing. and behavioral addiction. Yes?
Yeah.
So I introduced what I call ontological addiction. That is an addiction to the self, which is the mother of all addictions. So in psychology this is very important, because in psychology up until recently the self was very, very important. It was a stable point, being able to assert yourself and be confident of yourself. But if we become addicted to that, that causes suffering. Suffering itself is psychologically damaging. Happiness itself is psychologically damaging, okay? Because it's either up or down.
Yes.
So we try to find a stability. We help people to find a stability, a clarity.
So this is very interesting. So you treat the addiction to yourself.
Yes, because in fact I'll be talking about this today. People create many selves.
Yes.
Can I give you an example? Do we have
Please.
time?
Yes.
Yeah.
For instance, the violent offender. Do you understand?
The what? Sorry?
Violent offender. The person in prison who is very
Yeah,
violent,
yeah, sure, yeah, sure. Yeah,
and
violent
he's been
offender.
put in
Yes.
prison. Especially the younger ones. They're locked in that prison of self because they've been conditioned, and they have conditioned themselves. I am a violent person. And people tell them, you are going to prison because you are a violent person. And so they get caught up and pulled down into this hole. So they see and hear and smell and touch and taste everything in violence. But what we do is we show them that because they're quite blind, they can't see the ropes that can help them out of the hole. So we shine a light and show them that they can change. For example, thinking about one particular violent offender, very aggressive, I asked him to do some drawings for me, flowers and butterflies. So he stood up and he punched on a desk and he said, I'm a man, I don't do flowers, I don't do butterflies. After a week, he was doing lovely flowers and butterflies. He can change. So we show people that if they have the power to create a particular self, like a violent self or a drug self or an alcoholic self, then they have the power to deconstruct and then reconstruct something new and beautiful.
I find that so interesting because it tells me two things, I guess.
Okay.
One is that don't believe in about yourself, right? Because it's that you construct it. So if you construct it, you can change it, right?
Yes, yes you can. And you have to be in the position that you allow and accept the change. Because it's not only you who's constructing your future and yourself, but all of the others are helping to construct that for you. And you have to take the responsibility of helping them to construct their self. So your words, your thoughts, and your actions are very, very important, both to yourself and to the others. You are helping to create a future. In this very moment, you are creating your next moment. Yes? So with your thoughts and your words and your actions, you're not only creating your next future, but the future of others. Another example, if I have time.
Yes.
Walking down the street, on the sidewalk, you pass a person, you meet eyes. The person is very sad, depressed. That person is thinking of going in and committing suicide. Okay? He is very unhappy. You smile. You smile not only with your lips, but with your eyes and with your heart. Just that action could change him. So we have a responsibility to ourselves and to others. And this responsibility, it's a responsibility, but it's joyous, it's marvelous responsibility.
So it's like you can have like many different thoughts, but you can choose which ones to believe or not? Or
Yeah, be careful of belief.
yeah.
Because
That's
belief
what I'm asking.
is a conditioned phenomenon. Okay? So what we have to do is deconstruct all of these beliefs just make the experience. You see a tree, and you go to work every day, and every day during that journey you see the same tree, but you ignore it. You don't make the experience of it. Or else you stop in front of it and you say to yourself, okay, that's a nice tree, that's a big tree, it's a tall tree. It has green leaves, it has brown bark, it's an ugly tree, it's a horrible tree, they should cut it down. So lots of concepts and thoughts.
Yes. Chain of thoughts, yeah.
You're not actually experiencing the tree.
True.
And that's the same with depression, and it's the same with anxiety, or panic, or any other psychological problem. People don't allow themselves to experience it. Not allowing themselves to experience it, they can't hold on to it. If you can't hold on, you can't let go. And the idea is to let go. So you experience the phenomenon, and then you let it go. Because the next moment you see it, it will be changed.
It's going to be different.
And you're going to be different.
Yeah.
Even if only a minute passes, it's changed.
That's true. And that's what the way you apply it in your psychology practice or
Yes.
your teachings and everything?
Well, that's a little very brief.
Yeah, of course, sorry, it's super summary. really
It's
summary.
just to give an idea.
It's interesting because people want control the things,
Yes.
the things that happens, you know? And the answer really is allow the experience.
Yes, you allow it to happen, but then we have to be discriminate.
Yeah.
We have to be able to discriminate. That's why we need to have a certain calm, a certain tranquility. Because if we're in a confused state, then that which we see, hear, smell, taste and touch will be confused. So the signals, chemical signals, will be confused. We don't manage to experience that which is there. So we cannot, for instance, this idea of non-judgmental awareness.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, that's okay at the beginning. Okay, just allow things to be. But then you actually have to take action. And to be able to take action, you have to be calm, tranquil, in a concentrated mode.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you, like, what is the biggest problem that we have, or the biggest barrier that we have when we, for example, you were saying about the tree, like we get engaged with our thoughts and we
Yes.
don't experience the tree, right?
Yes.
So what is that? Where is the barrier?
Where?
The barrier.
Barrier?
Yeah. Oh,
The barrier is our conditioning, our incapacity to let go of that which we think we are and that which we think we know.
because if we do that, then we lose our identity, right?
Yes, and we are very afraid of losing our identity, but what is an identity? If you have an identity that can continuously change, flow with things, then that's very beautiful because it's constantly changing, it's changing with the times are changing all of every moment. If you have an identity, and that's all you have, then you're trying to fit everything into that identity. So you're taking square pegs and trying to squeeze them into a round hole.
Because actually, we need an identity to live in this world, right?
No,
No?
that's conditioning.
Okay.
Okay. Identity is relative. Okay, if we're happy with what we have, knowing that what we have will change,
Yes.
then that's good.
Okay.
Okay, so we create the identity, but we know that that identity will change. It's changing all the time. So that's where we want to be. Okay, we don't want to have an identity and make everything else fit into that. What we want is an identity that manages to expand, change with everything. So it's relative, and it's not absolutely a constant. Okay, we are not autonomous.
No?
No, we are not independent and autonomous.
We
Is it-
need to.
Do you have a piece of paper?
Yeah.
Oh no, I have. Wait, no.
Well,
Okay. This is me, paper.
It's enough.
Okay, I want to find myself, my identity. Yes? So I concentrate, I sit, I look into, I investigate. Yes? What do I find? What is paper made of? What do I find? What's the first thing I find?
I can't say it in English. I don't know.
Okay, wood.
Wood, yeah.
I
Sorry,
find
wood,
wood.
yeah.
I find wood.
Yeah.
In order to have that wood that made this paper, I need a tree. In order to have a tree, I need a seed. In order for that seed to grow into a tree, I need the sun, moon, stars, water, earth, minerals. And
Right, weather.
everything has to be exactly in that place, in that time, to create that tree that created that wood, that created this paper. I still haven't found my identity. I found a lot of things. More than that, I need a woodcutter. But to have that woodcutter who cut that tree, I need all of his ancestors, his parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. Yes? I find all of these things. I take the paper and I look under an electron microscope and I see atoms, photons, electrons, quarks that run around the electrons. Without any one of those elements, this paper does not exist. I do not exist. So, I am not independent. I am not inherently independent. I am dependent on all other things, without one of which I personally do not exist. This moment does not exist. My dependence now exists on you, and you exist on me. It's very, very important. Without one of us, this moment doesn't exist.
That's true.
It's nice.
That's true. That's true. I also wanted to ask you about mindfulness
Yes.
as well. So it's like, I think that you're practicing like second generation mindfulness.
Okay,
Like
we
you-
introduced second generation mindfulness. Yes.
Could you maybe explain a little bit what the difference is? And
Yes. First generation mindfulness tends to ignore the spiritual aspect of life. Okay? What we did was we introduced second generation mindfulness, which is actively and openly, overtly spiritual in nature. So we have a mind that we have to take care of. We have a body that we have to take care of. We have very short time here on this earth. But there's also that third element. Some people call it God, some people call it spiritual, some people call it something else. Whatever you want to call it, it's that third element that's important because it keeps us burning. It's a fervor, a curiosity to know and experience life. But many people forget about this. So we wish to reintroduce this. Mindfulness makes a small part of the process of meditation. And meditation per se is totally spiritual. Whether you wish to call it Buddhist meditation, Islamic meditation, Jewish meditation, Christian meditation, it is spiritual in nature. And we have to cure that part of ourselves. It is there in this place of spirituality that we can find ourselves and we can be at peace with that. Then we can start to grow. But first we have to find that place.
And so in the practice, like if I think, for example, on the MBSR,
Yes.
What would be the difference in when
I'm not going to make a confrontational situation.
Yeah, no.
They are different.
Okay.
Okay, one complements the other perhaps. But the fact is that we cannot take mindfulness out of context. Mindfulness relies, to be able to practice mindfulness correctly, one relies on a cross-fertilization with all of the other elements of the meditative practice. Right thought, right action, right view, etc., etc., etc. Round to right mindfulness, right concentration, or right meditation. One has to practice all of these elements simultaneously, not one at a time. You cannot take one out of context. It is true, mindfulness within the science of psychology has been beneficial, out of context. So there was my original question mark. How much more benefit can people receive if it's replaced, if it's put back into its original context and taught as it should be taught? Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And what do you think it will be the development of mindfulness in our culture, Western culture?
Whether
we are in the second generation, and it will be a third generation, a fourth generation, or it's enough, this second generation?
No, I'm hoping everything will develop and continue to do so. Everything changes, and we should allow that change to happen. And if we can, be part of that change and help to make it happen. So I believe there will be developments, and meditation and mindfulness is extraordinarily powerful and useful in any society. I'm working at the moment in the Arabian world with the Arabic culture, and introducing meditation and mindfulness is not the easiest thing. But one thing that many Muslims do not understand, as with many Christians do not understand about Christianity, is that there is a strong meditative culture within that system. Or it's Islamic or Jewish or Christian or Buddhist. It doesn't really matter what label you wish to put on it, but it will grow. Yes.
I did have a question, but I think you already answered it.
Okay.
At some point you said that mindfulness is only part of meditation.
Yes.
And I understood later on that you consider meditation to be basically the Eightfold Path.
Not only the Eightfold Path, but it's one of the basic ways of explaining, at least at the beginning, the practice of meditation. Meditation can be divided into three principal parts. There is a fourth part. The fourth part is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the guardian, which makes sure that that part of the mind, which is focused and concentrated, is not disturbed. So we have mindfulness, then we have samatha, which is concentrated meditation, and then from there we move on to vipassana, which is analytical meditation. Moving between the two, we come to a settled meditation, balanced. And mindfulness there is our guard, who makes sure that no one and nothing interrupts that concentration. Does that make sense?
Do you have some recommendations, some advice for the people?
Yes, I do, actually. Just a little bit. Please do not forget to be human beings. Because we've got a lovely body. It hasn't got claws. It's grounded. It's peaceful. It's tranquil. We've got beautiful minds. Let's use them. So let's not forget to be human beings. And let's help one another and help ourselves. That's my advice.